Welcome to ShiftWatch. I'm your host, Starbuck. In this episode, prior to the beginning of my metaphysical journey, I wasn't really much of a reader. However, all that changed then, and one of the first books that was recommended to me was The Afterlife of Billy Fingers by Annie Kagan. It was to have a profound effect on my awareness of what life after death is, and the reality of communications with multiple dimensions. Here is a clip I found in Annie's own words about the experience, and note, even back when this was originally recorded years ago, she was fully conscious of the nature of vibration. Next, here's more evidence of the effect active solar conditions and on the resulting geomagnetic storms that the Earth has been receiving. Ben Davidson at Suspicious Observers lays out some more conditions, including a cluster of tremors in Ethiopia, both volcanic and earthquakes, that have caused a widening crevasse, some expect to split the continent along the fault line that runs beneath this part of the globe. Then, this recent sighting is particularly interesting to me, in that it was captured, as you can see here, by many people over the skies in Mexico. Yes, this activity is going on all over the planet. Begin discerning for yourselves. And finally, as Dave Wallace began teaching us a few years back, we are already aware of communication taking place between those open and capable of exchanging with beyond Earth sentience. He taught us about CLPT, continuous light pulse frequencies, of CLPF, continuous light pulse frequencies. Here is what we believe is an excellent example of such activity as well as what are most likely telomeres. Adjust your vibrations accordingly, and you will set yourself up for contact if that's what you wish. Regardless of what you believe about the existence and interactions of BES, they are here now and making contact with some already. Buckle up.
Even higher energy that I've been picking up now from the book, you have to balance that as well. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is a great point to think of things as energy and energetic and how it affects you.
That's right. And the more we learn about these subjects, the more we recognize that everything is energy. Now, tell us a little bit. What is this book about? Why don't you start there, because what a fascinating story it is, and just tell us the beginning, how this all started for you. Okay.
Well, I love in your email to me, you call it a true spiritual thriller.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And it is, because it's a great mystery. And what happened was my brother was unexpectedly hit by a car and killed. And I was completely grief-stricken, barely get out of bed. And then 3 weeks after he died, it was my birthday. And I was sunrise, and I was waking up, and all of a sudden I hear Billy talking to me, as if there were a hole in my ceiling. And I heard him outside of my head very clearly going, Annie, it's me, it's Billy, get up. And I'm like, half asleep, and I'm going, oh God, I must be dreaming, Billy, because, you can't be here, you're dead. And then he said, no, I'm here, get up, get a notebook. And when I got out of bed and got a notebook and went back and started writing what he was saying, I knew that I was awake because I was moving around. When he was actually talking to me, and always when he talks to me, I'm in a state of euphoria because his voice carries the energy of his world to my world, into me. So I wasn't feeling grief while he was talking to me. I was feeling bliss. But then after, when he leaves, I'm never skeptical when he's there, because it's too amazing. And then when he left, I'm like, this is how could somebody be talking to me from another dimension?
Because, yeah.
Hope he comes back because I'm going to really check him out.
Yeah.
But of course, he comes back and the same thing happens in terms of the energy is so strong that I'm no longer doubting him while it's happening. But the interesting thing was he knew I was doubting him because on the second visit, he said to me, you know what? I understand this is really weird for you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove to you that this isn't just your imagination, that it's really me. And he did. I've been dealing with invisible and energy all my life because when you're a musician,
Right.
Music is invisible.
Yep.
It's energy, it's vibration. Working with people's bodies is vibration.
Yep.
Meditating is energy. So I think that in a way, I've been working with energy all my life. And also I've always been super sensitive person. Billy even says that to me. I was always the sensitive one. I was always a very, sensitive, aware type person. But I never was psychic. I heard him not telepathically. I heard him outside my head really clearly. And then, he goes through different stages in the afterlife. And as he gets deeper into the afterlife, he communicates in different ways. So at first I heard him clearly. Then he went into this phase where he was more formless. And I would wake up and I would see this beautiful blue golden orb of light, and I would look at it and focus, and then I was able to hear him, and his words were very drawn out. Then later on, as he went into the deeper realms, I started to be able to hear him like through the top of my head, and then I was able to even get some glimpses of him sometimes when he got more form. So it always was changing.
Good morning, folks. Today we've got interesting studies to hit on galactic light in the May 2024 solar storm, confirmation of what we've been saying. We'll also check out seismicity and, of course, space weather. We're starting, as always, with the last 24 hours on our star, where solar flaring continued in the M-class range, but slightly lower than previous days. There was a filament release off the northern departing limb, and the coronal hole is departing as well. All quiet geomagnetically and in the solar wind. The top watch for eruptive activity remains that northern sunspot group. It is the most complex with a lot of activity going on within its local area, and that is the reason it has been the producer of most of the solar flares for the last 3 days. While other areas are producing small flare flashes, the biggest and most frequent flaring is occurring up north there, facing Earth directly this week. Speaking of coronal holes, we looked at this 2 weeks ago. Last one is departing, and the next is set to turn in. We are still under the magnetic influence of the last one as we switch to a magnetic look from above to the north. Next coronal hole system will begin interacting with geospace later this week. Let's go next to seismicity, where the top quake of the day was a 6.2 that struck just offshore El Salvador. Luckily, no reports of major damage or loss of life. We also can see the Ethiopian swarm is continuing at the East African Rift Zone. Still got eyes firmly locked there for more. First up in the articles is this: the discovery of an unidentified excess light source at high galactic latitude. It is a mystery to them as of now, but this should almost certainly be the photoionization and energetic residual from the galactic current sheet and magnetic field activity. When they see extra light in the galaxy, the solar system, pretty much anywhere, the answer is usually dusty plasma and electromagnetism. Lastly today, folks, we have an interesting look at the May 2024 solar storm, and we'll get confirmation of 2 separate claims we've made. First, the ability of these storms to impact the entire atmosphere and the ground, including the triggering of earthquakes, confirmed and solidified in its mechanistic action. There were already dozens of studies showing the solar earthquake connection. May the doubt rest in peace. But perhaps more practically important for all of us, they confirmed that what hit us in May was orders of magnitude smaller than what hit in 1859, the Carrington event. The problem is that the auroras from May matched and in some locations exceeded the 1859 event. Well, how could that be possible if it was orders of magnitude smaller? As we keep saying, over and over, more and more Earth effects will be seen from less and less space weather as Earth's protective magnetic field continues to weaken in the ongoing pole shift.
Oh. Shit. coisa doida.
Faz tempo, hein? Olha, agora ficou bastante mais. Você consegue filmar isso?
Isso aqui filma horas. Não, já tá aí há uns 10 minutos.
Mas aí não dá pra ver quando cai embaixo, né?
Dá?
Mudou de lado já. É, gorda, não dá pra te pegar. Calma.
Não, ele tá parado no céu. Agora tá indo pra cá. Olha, se dividiu em dois de novo. Olha que forte.
Quando cai aí não vai, mostra assim. Olha,
Agora parou.
caiu bem embaixo.